Hello and welcome to Impact Africa, our online TV program where we get to have conversations with diverse people and organizations who are impacting lives positively. Yes, this is me, Kemi Akeode Adebayo, aka Mama K, and for today's program where we're going to be celebrating the month of November with our men and their health. And we're going to be focusing on a conversation that I had with two amazing young men who are doing amazing things in the community. So Mr. Godfrey, who is a founder for Mr. and Miss Albinism, South Africa, and Mr. Sipho, who is one of my sons, yes, and he's an actor, poet, he does various things, and as well as an IT specialist, and he does comedy as well.
Africa.
Enjoy.
Sipho, how are you today?
Very well, and you, Mama K? Great to be
very,
here.
very well. I miss your dreads, by the way.
Thank you. I know I'm working.
I remember those dreads.
They were so beautiful.
They were so beautiful.
I know.
So why did you cut them?
I think when you're young, you don't shower as much. You're going around in dirt. They weren't looking the way I wanted, but I'm going back.
So that was really the reason. You don't shower as much. But now,
I'm cleaning myself every day, so I thought I'd grow out my hair too.
Okay, so you're planning to grow.
I actually think just a more Afro-y look.
Okay, because me knowing young Sipho that age was about the dreads.
It was about the dreads.
Absolutely, most of the time and all the time.
I just look so sleek and good. Hard to maintain at that age.
So tell me things that you say you value most in life and why? For you?
For me. It's and I think the most important one for me, and it does sound cliche, but I think it's the pursuit of happiness.
Right.
I always underestimated that statement growing up because I think I equated happiness with success. Like success means happiness, all the things that success comes with, home, finances, things like that. And everything I pursued with the goal of success and not happiness. You know what I mean? And now as time goes on, I find that the more I'm actively pursuing things that makes me happy, it's allowed for other things to fall in place, which is, of course, what people try and teach you from when you're young, but it doesn't really absorb until you kind of get hit by life. You know what I mean?
I like the way it describes that. Get hit by life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number two, I would say, and I guess this is for me and all young men, especially men of color, I would say, is reading, actually. I think knowledge is power is a true statement no matter where you are in the globe, and it's not only knowledge in the form of what you do for a living, but knowledge in just to try and taste everyone's culture is the best way to do it is by reading about their culture. You know what I mean? No video can ever teach you there's no movie that can ever teach you about someone's culture, but if you read a book about someone from that town, even if it's 10 pages, 5 pages, you will expand the way you look at your own life, you know what I mean? And will increase your own experiences and I guess your own pursuits will have more color to it if you're also understanding other people's colors, So I find that.
And a third. I'm sure you have a third somewhere.
I'm sure I have a third somewhere, yeah. I guess it's don't be, I guess for me personally, I've heard no so many times in my life. So then why am I never use it. So when I'm pursuing my own dreams, I guess the fear of no, I'm not conquered by the fear of no. Because my whole life I heard no, even now you hear no on a daily basis, can I get a raise? No, can I get more money? No, can I use your car? No, it's small no's, but you hear no every day. So if you're pursuing something that you're passionate about, that no should mean nothing because all the things that you weren't passionate about, you received the no and you continued anyway. So if it's your passion, take the no, keep moving because what's the worst that can happen? You've heard no so many times in your life,
Wow, interesting. So how did you get into entertainment? Because I'm still trying to get my head around it. Not that I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I've always seen you as jovial, fun, relaxed, and the joker, and always everything is not in a bad way. So I'm not really surprised, but I just still felt you were going a different
politics route.
So the politics route, and it's about rights, social justice, and things like that, because like you said, you've been the first in many things. And, in the new world of South Africa. So how did you get into entertainment and how has the journey been? for you? And when? When did you get into it?
Yeah, when. So when I started was, well, the why, let me start with the why. The why was actually, I actually do still, I study politics because I do want to enter a political kind of frame, but I think like, as I was especially joining Joburg, I realized that we have a lot of politicians in Africa, but not enough leaders. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And it's like they're knowledge based and they can argue very well, but there's no actually pursuit of leading us out of something. You know?
Right.
So, but so I guess I do want to one day move where I am going into a state of public speaking in the form of being able to truly express myself, where I'm not hindered by a political party or worried about what anyone's going to say, where I'm truly getting a forum to express myself in my entirety. So then back in Trat, when I started this actually, so when I moved back to Cape Town 3 years ago, I wanted to do public speaking again, just as a form, just to do something after work that I enjoy doing. So I joined Toastmasters. I'm not sure if you. Yeah. So the.
You joined Toastmasters.
Yeah, I joined Toastmasters in Ernest Young, which so that was before I even thought of the comedy thing. I just wanted to get back to public speaking, you know, and I didn't want to just jump on a stage and embarrass myself. So I thought using a platform where other people are doing the same thing would be a great way to train the muscles. And then after a while, I heard that they have a comedy section within the Toastmasters, and I've always loved the true art form of comics, you know, like, because essentially it's just someone that gets on stage and gets to speak his mind and everyone sits there and listens, you know, so I always loved that side of it. So while I was training the Toastmasters thing, I said, okay, let me just change my course and then do the comedy thing. And then I think I did it for about 6 months. Then I thought, okay, I think I'm ready now. Then I did my first event in town, a place called Burger Shop at the time. But then COVID hit, so everyone took a break.
Yeah, no, that one, the COVID, in terms of the arts and entertainment world, and
it just rocked it. Yeah, it just rocked it.
Really so for you, what are some of the lessons, key lessons you've learned in life that has helped you, or that you will do differently? From a younger age, when you're, trying to make up your mind on which career path, to follow and not dropping out of school or whatever the case is. Yeah. What are some of the key life lessons that you'll advise somebody that wants to go into entertainment, a young person, or any industry, by the way?
I think getting to the young old age of 30.
Young old age of 30, no, don't worry. When you are closer to 50 or 60, then you even know that, no, this is still young.
I think it's for anyone out there that wants to really drive this, or whatever it is that they want to push, I think one thing we get comfortable in whatever position we're in, you know what I mean? Like there's, as much as there's, and I don't think there's no shame in that. It's not like oh no, I'm not pursuing my dream, so I'm not successful or anything like that. It's more like a lot of us, especially people of color in South Africa, we don't have the environment in which we can find ourselves for longer periods of time, you know what I mean? Because when you're done with school, you have to feed the mouths around you, you have to get actively involved. We don't have the finding ourselves time, it's just the reality of our scenario.
The black tax.
The black tax, exactly. And it goes both ways.
I'm not going to explain that today. That's for another program.
We'll get another one. But yeah, the black tax, and because things are getting heavier around us, it kind of slightly is increasing its tax just slightly. So my advice would be, I think, whatever it is that you have to do it. And then whatever it is that you wanted to do, pursue it on your side time, and even if you fail, it doesn't really matter, because it's what you want to do. Like, because if you really want to do it and you get a no, or it doesn't work out the first time, if it's truly what you wanted to do, just do it again, because you still, where the 9 to 5 has kind of hindered progression, it also has given you a safety net, because the next day you still you got the work, you got the job. So if it is anything it may be, if it's an artistic passion, if it's even another work type of thing, while you're still young, just do it. Just like after work, even if it's just like what I normally do is when I get home from work, I will write, every day I write a joke. And then I'll watch something comedy related for an hour. Okay. Then I can go back to doing anything else, because it's just, I'm telling myself, I'm feeding into my passion. 1 hour a day in a full year, that's 365 hours that you've spent on your passion.
My dear Mr. G, I can call you Mr. G.
Yes. Yes, Mama Kay.
Because I can see you've got the G touch already. I can see all that. So tell us just briefly about you. Who is Mr. G? And what do you do? And how did you get involved in Mr. and Miss Albinism?
Okay. Yeah, I'm Godfrey Mphatswe. And yes, my middle name, they call me Mr. G, as my stage name, as a model, And I started modeling when I was young. And I
At what age?
When I was in primary school,
Okay.
I was doing standard 1. We call them standards and not grades. So that exposes my age.
I was just going to ask, how old are you when I was young? But anyway, we won't disclose that. It's okay. Unless you want to share it. It's okay.
It's just a number. I'm
Okay.
38.
Oh, 38.
And I'm grateful.
Approaching the 40 milestone.
The big number, yeah. So, and then fast forward, in 2003, I started joining your modeling agencies, and I ended up modeling for people like David Lale, and Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week in South Africa. I went to Ghana to represent South Africa at Mercedes Accra, Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. So I've traveled, through this modeling thing. And then I went into Mr. South Africa because I wanted to move things to the next level now,
Okay. And which year was that?
That was 2016.
Okay.
Yes. And then I moved to Mr. South Africa. I came top 5. And I was nominated to be Mr. South Africa board member. So things were just getting interesting, And then on that platform, I was like, okay, there are people with albinism and I don't see them in this stage that I'm in, And how about that I gather them and start something about albinism. And that's when I started the fashion show for persons with albinism. So I called it Breaking Down Boundaries and Stereotypes. Okay. So where I brought them and people on wheelchairs, crutches, and so on.
So it was more than albinism. It was people with disabilities.
Disabilities,
okay.
yes,
Okay.
But then I remember I had only persons with albinism. It was just 9 of them because I didn't know where to get them, And as time went by, I was invited to judge Mr. and Miss Albinism Zimbabwe. Then that's when I was like meeting a lot of them and I started learning more about them. It's like they are beautiful people, but I noticed that they lacked confidence. And I was like, I need to start this in South Africa. Then as well, when I was in Zimbabwe, they were like, why don't we have the South African version of this,
Right.
And then that was my work to do, It was like my goal is to start Mr. and Miss Albinism South Africa, And then I got invited to Malawi to judge as well, Mr. and Miss Albinism Malawi, And what was interesting, the First Lady was there, The government was so involved because of the killings that were happening there. So they needed to address that, so it was important for her to be there, And then 2018, that's when I started now, like the vision was coming to be active, where I was like now gathering them in South Africa. And then we couldn't host in 2019 because of COVID and the hard lockdown, And as soon as we were off the hard lockdown, then that was last year actually, then we were like, okay, we're hosting this pageant, And so it happened and yeah.
So can you share with us, some life lessons, for you that you've learned over the years as a model, as somebody now working in other areas that you're now learning and passionate about? What are some of the lessons you've learned that you can share with maybe a boy child that is keen to go into modeling? What would you advise the person?
Okay, my advice really is to be, don't take life for granted, It's the only chance that we have. It's a once-off chance that we have. Take it seriously, respect people, and most of all, be humble, Be humble and respect each and everyone, And when you meet the person, you don't know. You might meet a person as a security or a cleaner. you might not know. Next thing, that person will be your employer, you know. So respect everyone that you meet. And for a boy child, respect women. You know, we see a lot of gender-based violence, which is very rare. If I don't know where it comes from, because we grew up not knowing, not seeing this kind of things. So can we respect women in our space? And you must know that without women, there's no existence. You know, they are there to create and multiply us, you know. So that's all I can share.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for those powerful words. So my last question is, I know you're already, you know, helping in terms of social justice for people with disability, with albinism specifically. Is there any social issues that means something to you, and what do you think have been done about it?
Okay, apart from albinism and disability, really, like I'm big as well on women, you know, like as I said, like gender-based violence. You know, we need to really work hard on that, because it starts from homes, you know, where like there are gender roles, you know, they like women are the ones who cook, they're the ones who prepare food and so on. Even us as men, we can as well, you know, break those stereotypes, because it's just stereotypes. Hence now you see women working hard every morning, they are working, they are sustaining families, you know, without saying, okay, men are the ones who are supposed to be going out there to the fields and work, you know. So we are equal, basically. Yes.
The Unsung Hero Award recognizes an individual that has had direct and uplifting engagement with the community. This colleague always looks for opportunities to create good causes and selflessly contributes to the community. And the award goes to, I hope I can pronounce it, Godfrey Mphatswe.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so honored to be here. And I would like to say I started here at SABC in 2006. I was one of the interns. And it all started in 2016 when I was on Mr. South Africa journey. And I came on the top 5, and SABC was there as well for me to journey with me, you know. And I had my first show actually right here of persons with albinism. It was the first in the country, and it moved the world, you know. And now I'm doing Master and Mr. Albinism, and we'll be going to Crown in Cape Town. So I'd like to say thank you so much, SABC, and for taking care of everyone, actually. And I'm saying to the intern, you know, you can make it, you know, it starts somewhere, you know. And I'd like to say thank you, and to the God of Mount Zion, thank you.
What an interesting conversations had with these two amazing young people. You know, Sipho with his dreadlocks and why he cut his dreadlocks, and some of the things that, like you said, that he values most in life, which is being happy. No wonder he's a comedian. And as well as Mr. Godfrey, wow, what a special area, just given a platform, you know, for those who are struggling, and most of the times, you know, nobody acknowledges them. Kudos to you, Godfrey, for what you're doing. Thank you, and God bless you, as we say in Africa. So, well, that's all we've got for today, and we hope you'll join us the next time as we continue to celebrate our men for the month of November. This is me, Mama K, signing off saying, stay safe, stay blessed, love you all.